people know that they don't qualify. And that's where you get the representative, where people put up that front and pretend for as long as they can get away with it to be the person who does qualify, right? And I think the other part of what drags out the dating process is that once that mask slips, well, now is like the moral dilemma of, was that the representative, or is this person just going through something, right? And I think that's the part that gets a lot of people stuck in situations and relationships that they have no business being in, because they can't tell, was this person faking it this whole time, or is this just a situation that can be worked through?
But if she decided to give you some time and you took advantage of that, you would grasp her attention. That's how you see people who you would never even imagine, who you probably wouldn't think are compatible or would be together, but they are.
Men and women may entertain people for different reasons, and it gives off a false impression like you qualify for that, but you don't. Does that make, am I making sense?
Make perfect sense.
I get it.
Makes sense to me.
But in what's also happening is it's slowing down the dating process, because some people take advantage of it and they should be getting serious, but they're so busy taking advantage of those opportunities that are not leading to being serious that it's like a fog in there. It's like blinding them. Meanwhile, the woman of your dreams is right here, and you keep playing with the people you shouldn't be playing with, missing out on the woman or the man of your dreams. She or he doesn't have time for that. And so they go off, and you still out here playing.
I think that's part of it.
Did that make sense?
It did, but I think that's only half the story. I think,
Okay.
What's the other half?
I think the other half is that people know that they don't qualify. And that's where you get the representative, where people put up that front and pretend for as long as they can get away with it to be the person who does qualify, right? And I think the other part of what drags out the dating process is that once that mask slips, well, now is like the moral dilemma of, was that the representative, or is this person just going through something, right? And I think that's the part that gets a lot of people stuck in situations and relationships that they have no business being in, because they can't tell, was this person faking it this whole time, or is this just a situation that can be worked through?
Yeah.
Shan, I'm gonna drop and come up in another tab because I gotta get on my laptop.
Okay, that's fine. Drop it like it's hot. Does anybody else want to contribute to that? I want to play videos, but I kind of wanted to get everybody's input on it before the videos are played. How do you feel about that? Do you think that one of the problems that we're having when it comes to what you're seeing, because some of you guys are in relationships, what you're seeing, especially in the YouTube space, is that maybe people are aiming for things they don't qualify for? Do you think that it may not be the top reason, but do you think that that's pretty high up into what, some of the problems that we're seeing as far as dating, especially as it relates to what we've seen on the internet?
No, I don't agree with that. Oh, I don't think that's the case, because one person, I think you should aim for what you want, right? Aim for I think men should aim for who they want, who they desire, the same way that women should aim for who they want. Who's to say who is out of someone's league? Like, you never know. That person who you think is out of your league, you may be just what they're looking for. So no one person knows what someone, should have, could have, or what that person wants or what they need. Don't never judge a book by its cover. I mean, I've done that several times, and I think we all probably have. You've seen this person who looks like they have it all. They're fine. This man is fine. He's got the swag. He's very attractive, and he's with this woman, and we're like, Like, okay, how did she get him? But yet they've been married for years. Maybe she was just what he needed. Maybe she was just what he was looking for. Or maybe he wasn't. She wasn't what he was looking for, but she was absolutely what he needed. So I personally think that everybody should aim for what they want, and you never know, you just might get what you're seeking.
Any of the guys want to chime in on this?
Go ahead, Marcus. I'm gonna let you ride with it for a minute.
Okay, so the question was repeat the question for me so I can make sure
Do
I
you
answer it.
think that one of the biggest reasons why the dating, so what we see in the YouTube, because we can only go by what we see on YouTube, because we only have access to so many people, which is our circle, but from what you see that's going on now, do you think that some of the issues are that people are facing in the dating game, do you think that a lot of that stems from people aiming for people who they don't qualify for?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. And the add-on to that was, and are people taking advantage of that dating market and wasting people's time and their own time? So right. I just wanted to make sure I was answering the right question.
But that's the second part. We're gonna talk about that next. I want you to answer that one, and then we'll go to that one because that's a big one.
So short answer, yes. And I think social media and the ability to observe other tribes or other groups of people or other in your mind potential dating options has created a fallacy of options that don't truly exist, but the ideal of them exists and is very real to people. So yeah.
Yeah, I also think it's kind of like what's happening right now. You have you have 46 people in this chat right now, but we only have 8 likes. So that's exactly the kind of stuff that happened in the dating market. Get them likes up.
Them freeloaders.
So yeah, you definitely got to get the likes up. Like, yo, that's real simple and it don't cost you anything. But I agree with Tan partly. Shoot your shot. Go for it. Why not? Why not? Go ahead and shoot your shot and feel like an idiot whenever she turn you down because you don't really qualify for her because we are living in this delusional social media era. Just because I can reach you on through your DM doesn't mean I should reach you through your DM. But by all means, shoot your shot. You know what? As a matter of fact, I've been thinking about hitting up Halle Berry here lately. I feel like she came free not too long ago, and I know she a little bit on the crazy side. I like them a little crazy. She got a little bit more money than me, not much more. Well, maybe a lot more. But you know what? She might say, "Stace, yo, AP, let's go," or she could be like, "Are you a damn fool?"
Or if she gives you the attention and you sweep her off her feet, you wine her, dine her, you meet all of her needs, then you might not have been what she was looking for. But
Hey,
if she decided to give you some time and you took advantage of that, you would grasp her attention. That's how you see people who you would never even imagine, who you probably wouldn't think are compatible or would be together, but they are. So, but to your point, because you mentioned something very important, shoot your shot. But if they, decline your offer, they decline. I think that's part of the other problem. People be honest, right? Anybody can shoot their shot, but don't lead the person on. If they're not what you're looking for, if they don't quote unquote qualify, then decline. Don't waste people's time. And then maybe they will realize, okay, maybe I don't align with this person, right? But if you lead them on, you're encouraging that person to continue to believe and have faith that they can go after that same caliber of person. Maybe it's not the caliber of person, maybe it's just you, but they won't know unless they get turned down. So be honest. If you're not honest, then you're not really doing anything for their ego either. You're leading them on, and it's false.
Then I'm gonna do exactly what people are doing because truth of the matter is I don't want Halle Berry. I want her network.
I think
And
that's
no, I'm just being like I'm using that as an example. People people will they want what they want, whether it's just, you know what, I want one night with that chick. Let me hit her up.
Mhm.
That in itself is right, kind of misleading.
Mhm.
So me, what I would want from her is her network, and I'm gonna use her to get those resources because I don't really need anything else from her, right? And that's just an example of how people are moving in these spaces, which is why I believe a lot of people are jaded from some of these experiences that they're having. Like, oh, men ain't shit, women ain't shit, because like you knew that person wasn't for you, and you still gave them the time
I
that
don't think
they, in my opinion, don't qualify for. Just an
no,
opinion.
I don't think that that's really what it is because Tan touched on something when she talked about compatibility, right? I think there's way too much emphasis on compatibility without balancing it out with suitability. You might be compatible, but if that person isn't suitable, there's a whole chunk of that relationship that doesn't make sense, right? And that's not just on the aesthetic, right? Like if we're talking about AP and Halle Berry, the likelihood of her turning him down is high, not because of compatibility, but because of suitability, right? The number of men that are out there that would use her for her network, for her wealth, for her connections, whatever, far outnumber the people who don't need her for that, right? And I think when we strictly talk about compatibility, so many people think they qualify strictly off of compatibility, shoot their shot, get the chance to do it because people are emphasizing compatibility without taking a step back at the practicality of it and saying, does this relationship make sense in terms of how we function as two separate individuals? Right? And that's where suitability comes into play. But we skip over that part or ignore it completely.
Ooh, I 150% agree with you. I actually posted something similar on my IG not too long ago. I completely agree with you, and I don't. This might not be a trend tonight, but it's starting off. I totally agree with that.
I do too. I like that suitability. We never think about how if you're suitable. Are you a
Mhm.
suitable mate?
Mhm.
I
That's
like
funny.
that. So, to the second part that Marcus tried to point out, I do think that that also plays a role. People are using there's manipulation in there, saying, "Okay, I don't want you for this, but I'm going to continue to talk to you and play like I like you." To get something else from you, so to speak. And I think that that also plays into people not knowing what they qualify for, because you may think you're qualifying for a relationship, but in actuality he just sees you as being right for the bedroom for tonight.